Hey folks, welcome back to DCS. So the DLSS patch has finally been added. Yesterday I had no end of problems trying to get it to actually work. When going to this menu, all these options were greyed out and I could not get them to actually let me choose DLSS. I put a post on Reddit, I asked on Discord, people were telling me to go into DLAA and to make sure that this bit was off, anti-aliasing was off, and then these options should become available, but all these were greyed out. These two were greyed out as well. There's an option somewhere, SSSS, I don't know what that is, but that was greyed out as well. Screen space shadows improves environmental shadow casting. Might try that in a bit. What I eventually did to get it to work was, I'll show you actually, let's quit out of the game. So what I eventually did was I went into Steam, and a long time ago when multi-threading was added, I came into this menu. So that's, you go to right click this, you go to properties, and you get this screen. In general, there's a launch options thing. Apologies about Discord there, and you get to pick, right? So I had it on play MT preview, and that meant that every time I would double click DCS on my Discord, on my desktop even, it would launch, I thought, the multi-threading version. However, if you're not running multi-threading, then the option will be greyed out because it only works in multi-threading. And for me it was greyed out, which means that I wasn't in multi-threading, even though this option was selected. What I did to fix it was change it to ask when starting game. What that means is that you can no longer use this shortcut. You have to click this. And when you do, it gives you this menu. And if you press that, then it will make sure that you are playing the multi-threading preview. Another way I tried, which did not work either, was to go into my system files. So I have it on Steam, so Steam Apps, Common, DCS, and then in MT bin, I want to say it's called, but I can't see it. There it is, MT bin. And then this launch link is basically this one here, but for the multi-threading version. Launching it from here did not work either. So I had to launch it via this menu by clicking play MT preview. If I do click always use this option, it doesn't work. I literally have to force it through this menu only to open the game, and otherwise it will not give me the option to enable DLSS. So all of yesterday, when I could have been testing it out in game footage, I wasn't because I couldn't get it to work, and it took me probably 10 hours or so of sleuthing to figure out the solution. So if you're having the same issue that I had, there's your fix. Guys, I actually put the game in 1440p, and oh my good god, it looks amazing. And surprisingly, I don't know if you can make out the FPS counter, but I'm actually getting more FPS than I was at 1080p, which, as a console noob of 20 years, makes absolutely zero sense to me whatsoever. But I'm not gonna complain. And what we can then do is use the fancy new feature to quickly pick our loadout.
Request rearming.
And then once this is done, we are ready to go, and the pilot model can go back on. I'm getting 160 FPS. What on earth is going on? Yeah, F5 auto display. There is some quite odd sort of shimmering going on. I don't know if that'll come through on YouTube. That's a bit nah. It's kind of giving me an aneurysm, but hopefully that will not happen in the air. I can't believe how much of a success this patch has been, discarding the initial difficulty that I had with actually getting DLSS to work, but fucking god, it's good. I'm actually getting more FPS in DCS now than I do in War Thunder, which I never thought would happen. And the server is pretty full, there's like 47 people on it I think when I last checked. quite a lot of people on. The question will be, am I able to actually spot anything to save my life in 1440p? I cannot actually get over how fluid and beautifully smooth this looks. There is a little bit of screen tearing in 1440 that I wasn't getting in 1080p, but I swear the frame rate is actually higher at this resolution. So if I can actually see the contacts when we get close enough, then I think that will be, I will be happy indefinitely. This is with like a 2 generation out of date CPU as well. I was actually planning on splashing out on a new CPU and a bigger PSU as well as my next PC upgrades, because when I did get this 4070 Ti, with how the game used to be, I was heavily CPU bottlenecked, and a lot of people told me that this update wouldn't really help me if I was CPU bottlenecked, but very clearly I'm getting 170 FPS right now, which is fucking wild. That is easily 100% improvement. Eagle Dynamics have actually knocked it out of the park. In 1080p earlier I was getting blurry instrument panel dials, which I couldn't really read when I was zoomed out about this far. But at 1440 that was actually fixed the problem. I can't get over how good this looks. The clouds look a little bit shit, I have to admit, especially the far away clouds that are kind of flickering. But it's a combat sim, not a cloud sim. I can get, as long as the planes look pretty, I can kind of look past it. And I think I do actually have my cloud settings on like the lowest they can go at the moment, and they looked fine before, so I might just bump them up and see what kind of what sort of FPS hit we see. I mean, I've got FPS to burn really, so I can afford to crank a few things up. So I'm burning because I want to get the fuel tank to run out, which I just did, so we'll get rid of that. I can clear that warning. Back off the throttle because we should maintain a slightly better speed now anyway. Frogfoot's gone off the reports, he must just be blind to EWO. I can see a spark, or I could see a spark. My god. That's very, very difficult to see. I'm not sure if that's him or a friendly. Spotting is definitely not as good in 1440p. Still getting 190 FPS though. Whatever this thing in front of me is, it's not that Mirage F1 because he's off to my left somewhere. Completely lost this thing now. Oh no, it's still there. Radar can't see it though. It's dragging me quite close to TS. Let's go find that Mirage instead. 341. That's, okay, so an F1 killed. Oh, the F1 crashed. God damn. 347 for 12. Let's see if we can form up on Jam, which I think is Macquarie's call sign. I see him, he's there. There he goes. Where did he go? How can I lose an A10? Really feel like I shouldn't be struggling this much to see an A10. Maybe it is at me. Two 5-1 for 5. On the deck. Where? Zero, 1, 5. Oh, fuck off. R60s are a fucking meme. Fuck me, that was a shit sorting. Hey folks, post commentary little edit. So to round things up a little bit, the next video you see will obviously be a little bit less crap in terms of combat, but this was more or less just to show my first impressions of the changes, and I didn't want to have to do it again and like fake it, because it would have, you know, wouldn't have been first impressions, would it? On top of what I've said here, there is some other things to mention. So there is a little bit of ghosting on contact, which means that there's like a sort of fuzzy trail following behind everything. For me, it's not too bad for aircraft, because especially when people are using afterburners, it kind of makes the afterburner more prominent, which looks a little bit more realistic. But where it really sucks, I was flying the A10 with Maguire after this, and the hood ghosts as well. So for example, if you are accelerating, then it kind of looks like the stars do when they go into hyperspace in Star Wars. Not to that extent, but it's an obvious effect, and it's a little bit, you know what I mean, it doesn't look very good. Apparently it doesn't happen for full fit modules, it's just an FC3 thing, so it'll probably get ironed out, hopefully. But I haven't flown that many things to compare against yet. On top of that, complications with the patch seem to be making every server run like absolute dog arse. I was actually surprised at how well the footage ran through on this sortie that I did, because I tried flying Enigmas quite a lot after this. I tried Tempests, I tried Blue Flag 80s, and everyone was just teleporting all over the place. It was like horrific rubber banding. So I'm not sure if the patch has changed something about how the servers work or what, but the game, at least for me, is pretty much unplayable at the moment. So I'm probably going to give it a couple days before I start delving into it any more deeply. The next upload I've got scheduled for you, I still need to finish editing it, but it's a 9-for-1 fishbed highlight reel, basically. I ended up forming up on a random that ended up being a channel member, so keep an eye out for that. Obviously that will be pre DLSS update, and then from then on I think it should be everything post DLSS. But thanks for being here. Let me know if you have any concerns about how the game is running for you. We can compare specs and stuff in the comments. All of my computer specs are in the video description. I'm not very tech savvy, but I'm sure people in the comments will help you out if you ask any questions. I'll help if I can, or if I have any relevant knowledge. If you want to see more, then hit the sub button, hit the like button to help the algorithm. Consider joining as a member if you want to help support the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.